Hello, and welcome to my very first devlog for my content management system named Opal. Many developers like myself will agree that creating a decent website is not an easy thing to do, and due to the persistent domination of HTML and CSS, web development can be a mundane and tedious task to withstand. After 2 years of suffering, I can safely say that using a technology for creating simple documents, slapping on a cascading shitstorm, and a scripting language that may as well be designed by a 5-year-old was probably not the best idea. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me demonstrate. You create a file, you add a welcome message, you admire your work and realize it looks nasty, you add another file, you add some boilerplate, you make the background black, you make the text white, you change the font to what is seemingly the only font ever created by man, you forget to select every single font weight and link it into your HTML file, and then everything looks as hideous as it did before. Spend 5 minutes googling and realizing it's because you forgot to include your CSS file. You spend hours trying to center the text, realizing that copying code identically from Stack Overflow doesn't work, and then withdraw that thought as you realize that you forgot to add a parent div and add display flex. You decide to emo yourself this puppy every time someone opens the website. You have to create a JavaScript file, make a fetch request to a poorly designed API, realize you forgot to include your script into your HTML file, learn about calls for the 50th time, and then figure out why your element is undefined and why JavaScript doesn't tell you that's your problem is. And on TypeScript and quarrel with some senior chat about why you should code your websites and WebAssemblies to give you greater control. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. I had decided that I'd simply had enough of this catastrophe and wanted to settle this once and for all. Opal, a content management system designed to simplify web development while still providing optimal control to the developer. I'd originally named it Pouch, but strangely enough there is already a database system named Pouch which I was already aware of. Subconscious must have been playing tricks on me again. I realised that naming it after a rock was also not the best idea, but hey ho. I decided that Opal would be open source. I'm a fan of the idea of sharing your code publicly, so everyone can find the malware you put inside the software. As I'd lost all my money betting on chickens, I decided that I'd make Opal a desktop app, instead of an app that was ran and hosted on the web. For this to be possible, I figured that Electron.js would be a great technology to use. Electron allows you to write website code into a desktop application, using Chromium under the hood. I drafted up a quick window with a sidebar, with some tabs in it, and soon enough we were able to edit text and its type. Pretty cool. I do apologise for the awful design, it does get better. I then added the ability to create projects, open them, and save them. Soon enough, you are able to actually preview the site. Looks nothing like it does in the editor, but it works. Opal's actually usable at this point, as much as you wouldn't really get very far with it. I then did a rework on the UI, which was heavily influenced by Webflow, because their UI is an actual masterpiece. I later spent some time adding scripting to Opal, making a nice API that developers don't have to struggle in using. Instead of accessing elements manually, you simply import an object and access them as properties. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me rant about web development. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like the video and break the algorithm. And if you're feeling extra nice today, I would greatly appreciate you hitting the subscribe button.